In this session, we will be covering the following. In section 1, how to create a digital reading log using Google Sheets. And in section 2, we will move on to adding your reading log to Google Classroom. So let's start with section 1, how to create a digital reading log using Google Sheets. During section 1, I'm going to show you how to make a reading log in Google Sheets. Firstly, go to Google Sheets and open up a blank document. Once you've opened up your blank document, you need to think of the information that you want your reading log to contain. So I've put in here name, form, English class. The other information I want my log to contain is information about Accelerated Reader. So I've got book level here, so I can type in the student's book level, and the end of term target can be added here. I've also put some pointers in here to help the student reach their target. And the other thing I want it to contain is their reading age and growth since last term. The student part of the reading log is down here. So here I've got the number of books they've read, the date, the title of the book, book level, quiz results, points earned, and teacher's feedback. Now I'm happy with all the information, I'm going to make it look a little bit better. So firstly, I'm just going to make sure everything fits in the cells. So a little bit here, so this one here, points earned, I'm going to move that over. I don't feel there's enough room here for the students to write the title, so I'm going to push that over a little bit there, so they've got a bit more room. And I'm happy with the look of that now. So I think I might change the colour at the top here to make that look a little bit different. So if I change the colour, I can go to the colour pot here and I'll go for a nice light blue for that part. And then this part here, I think I will colour code that a little bit as well. So let's colour that along, and maybe a another blue colour. And if I move this across a little bit, I'm happy with that. Now I want all this information to be able to stay at the top of the sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze this first 12 cells. So if I click on the line I want it to freeze at and go to view and freeze and up to current row. And what that will do now, if you see here, these cells underneath are moving, but the top part stays. I want the students to always come into their log and be able to see this part of the information. To help encourage the students, I'd like them to know how many books they've read this term. But instead of them having to actually type the book number in, I'm going to do that for them. So if we type in 1, 2, and 3, and then go back to the top, highlight the 3, and then pull the box down, that will put the numbers in for me. Okay, the other thing I'd like to do is I'd like to have colour coding when it comes to their quiz results. So if they get 85% and above, I'd like that to be green. If they get between 84 and 60, I'd like that to be an amber. And if they get below 60, I would like that to be red. To do that, hit Format, Conditioning Format, and here we're going to change it to is in between. And so the first one I'm going to do is the 100% to the 85%. So this one I want to be green. I'm going to change that to green. And I want it to go down all the cells. So I'm going to drag this down here. And that will now be, anything I put in there will be the 85%. So that's the first condition. The second condition I'd like to add is between, and this time it's 84% and 60%. I want that to have an amber colour, so I change the colour here and we'll go for, I think, this colour here, and done. And last rule I'd like to add is between or less than 59%. And this time I'd like it to be red. And there are my 3 conditions done. Here we go. So the value between 100 and 85% will be green. If the value is between 84 and 60, it'll be amber. And if the value is less than 59%, it will be red. So I'll show that as an example here. So if I put 85% and come out of the tab, it will be green. If I put 40%, it will be red. And if I put 65%, it will be amber. I am now happy the reading log contains all the information that is needed. I'm going to make sure I've renamed it. So in this instance, I've called it Reading Log Term 1. And then we're going to move on now to the second section where we're going to upload this to the students. Section 2, adding your reading log to Google Classroom. We're now going to look at how to add the reading log to the Library Google Classroom. So go into your classroom, click on Classwork and Create. We're going to create it as an assignment and give it a title. We're now going to add the file. So we go to File, and as it's one of the recent files I've just used, it's come up here. So I'll click on the file and Insert. It's really important to remember to change how the students can view. This one here comes up automatically as students can view this file, but we need them to be able to edit it. So if we look down here, the next one is students can edit a file, but they will all be editing the same Google Sheet. So what we need to do is make sure that we make a copy for each student, and each student will have their own reading log. I'm now going to look over to this side and make a few changes here. I'm going to check that it says all students are going to get a copy of this. The other thing I'd like to do is change the due date. So I would like to make it the last day of term, 18th of December. I don't need a time. I'm now ready to assign this to the students. So I'll press Assign. This has now created a reading log as an assignment under the Classwork tab. So if we click on the Reading Log Term 1, it will show your assignment. If we click on View Assignment, you will see a list of all the different students' reading logs here. Unfortunately, this is a demo class, so I've only got one student assigned, but you would actually see one of these for each of your students. So let's take a look at the first student here. Up comes her assignment. So here she can put her name and form and class. Adding the book level and the target, there are 2 ways you can do this. I find the best way to fill in the data is to do it myself. So I'll put in the book level here and the target points and the reading age and the growth. The other way you can do it is if you do have the class with you, you can read out those results and they can put them into the sheet themselves. This is now ready for the students to use. So they'll be able to go in and actually type in there the date, the title, the book level, the quiz and the points earned. And also we have another bit here where the teachers can have feedback. So if we go back to the assignment, we'll be able to see all the students and we can individually go into those students and type some teacher feedback here. We have found many benefits to having a digital reading log. Firstly, we save on paper and printing costs. And secondly, we have access to the reading logs at any point and can leave feedback to the students. So if the students aren't in school for any reason and are filling in their log, we can still leave feedback to them. And the other thing, when they are in school, we don't have any lost reading logs anymore. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening.